Did you know that there are up to 3 negotiations during a home purchase? Hi, I'm Cambria Henry with Haven Real Estate Group. Even in the seller's market, when buyers are most motivated to get your home is during the offer period. Many agents will say, okay, well, we'll deal with that after inspection, after we get the home. It's important as a seller to know that if your home gets an offer, goes off of the market, and then comes back on the market, buyers can see that information. And your next buyer will be wondering, well, I wonder what happened that made this first buyer walk away. Often the showings will slow down, and you could even get offers less than what your first offer was. The first contingency that a buyer has is their inspection contingency. This is where they look through the home and they go through it with an inspector and they pick out items that they would like you to repair. This can be very, very costly. I, in this market, strongly recommend hiring an inspector to pre-inspect your home, giving the buyer the copy of that inspection, and at the time of the offer, when they are most motivated, telling them that they have to sign off on the things on that inspection. That way they can't come back and say, I still want you to fix this item or I'm walking away. Everything's out in the open and they know completely what they're getting into. That does not mean that the buyer should not have their own inspection. That opens yourself up to liability issues. Second, there's the financing contingency. A couple of things that are important to know about this. The agent that you're working with should be in active communication with the buyer's lender. The reason is the financing contingency states that the buyer has 5 days to apply to be pre-approved. It does not say they need to be pre-approved in 5 days, which means that a buyer can apply for a loan, get denied, and still have that contingency and get their earnest money back. That's how the contract is written. The listing agent, the agent that represents you, the seller, does have things that they can do to make sure that that doesn't happen. And they should be using those to ensure that the buyer is actually qualified to buy the home. A pre-approval letter at the time of the offer is the #1 thing that they should do. But communicating with the lender throughout the process is just as important. During the financing contingency, there is the appraisal. In today's market, because prices are changing so quickly, we're having a lot of appraisal issues. In the offer part, if you're paying the buyer's closing costs, which means you're paying their financing fees, and maybe they've upped the offer a little bit to cover those financing fees, there are things that your agent can suggest, such as having in the contract that if the appraisal comes in low, the buyer will up the amount that they're putting down in order to cover those closing costs themselves. That way, you're not stuck with a choice of lower my purchase price and still have to pay the buyer's closing costs, or have to put my home back on the market and possibly get less money for it. That's not a position that you want to put yourself in. If you have any questions or you'd like more information about this, please call me, Cambria Henry. My number is 509-255-3764. Thank you so much.